This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in the last sessions, all the sessions we have learned starting from cloud basics, and then we learned how to work with uh, various Azure services. We learned what are the offerings that Microsoft Azure provides. Like it provides IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So we learned what is IaaS with the help of virtual machine. We created virtual machine along with its components, and then we also created PaaS services. We created web server, a website, a database server, and a database, right? So like that, there are many services, many Azure services, right from networking, okay, uh, no code solutions like logic apps, data factory, right? All everything, right? For web developers, for data analytics, data engineering, okay. So you'll have to uh, learn at least 10 to 15 Azure services before giving interviews. Okay, in fact, even if you have to create your profile, you have to put all those Azure services. Okay, um, so maybe I will quickly share my screen. So most of you, or some of you at least, are from non-IT background, right? So definitely, when you want to attend interviews, you should prepare yourself on these two areas. One is Microsoft Azure, and then Azure DevOps. Okay. So now, very important aspect in interviews that people would expect is automation. Okay. They don't hire people who only knows how to work with Azure manually. Okay, at least few years back it was different scenario, but now interviewers are looking for people who can write code for automation. Now there are multiple different types of automations. The first one is infra automation. So here, when I say Microsoft Azure, you need to create Azure services. It could be anything. It could be creation of virtual machine, website, database, VNet, subnet, firewall rules, everything. So basically, that role is called as uh, infra engineer, or just Azure engineer, or platform engineer.
Praveen, your screen is not sharing, Praveen. Let's check once.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. Is it visible now?
Yeah, Praveen.
Thank you, Shivan. Thank you, Bhushan. Okay, so what I was saying is these are the two areas which are very important uh, for you to get a job. Okay, and this is the these are the two areas where you can see a lot of jobs in Azure. Okay, the first one is Microsoft Azure, wherein you have to automate the stuff. Okay, there are different technologies. Um, from Microsoft, you have something called as ARM templates, and then Bicep. Okay, so these are also called as infrastructure as code. So Bicep is now becoming very popular in the market within Azure space because it is very easy than ARM templates. Okay, the other one is Terraform. Terraform is also very popular one in the market. However, Terraform is not a Microsoft product. It's from IBM. recently 1 week back, IBM acquired Terraform. Basically, Terraform is from a company called HashiCorp. So that has been acquired by IBM, maybe I think 1 week or 10 days back only. Okay. So now you have to learn at least one of the IAC technologies, either Bicep or Terraform. If you learn one of them, the other one is very, very easy, very similar. Okay. So what do you do with Bicep or Terraform? Basically, you create Azure services. So whatever I created in the last 3 days from the portal, uh, you have to create it from code in real time. That's very important. So even if you have to crack the interviews, you have to know at least one of those technologies, because even in interviews, I have seen people asking the candidates to write the code. Even if it is a virtual call, video call interview, interviewer will ask you to write some code. What is the structure of Bicep? What is the structure of ARM template? What is the structure of Terraform? These kind of basic questions are asked, even if it is a video call interview. So learning Azure services is one thing, maybe at least 10-15 services you should learn. Then the way you should learn is via writing code using Bicep or Terraform. Okay, that's number one. Second thing is DevOps. So DevOps is everywhere. So you have to also learn Azure DevOps basically. So this is for infra automation, basically creation of VMs, websites, database, all that kind of stuff. But this one is also automation, but this Azure DevOps is more for deployments, automated deployments of your code. When I say your code, it can be written by developers like .NET developers, Java developers, Angular developers, database developers, or any kind of developers who write code. They'll only write it in dev environment, but a DevOps engineer will deploy it to higher environments like QA environment, production environment, those kind of things. Okay, so this is for infra creation and this is for code deployments. So some companies have different teams for this and different teams for this, but some companies, especially small and medium, they will not have different teams. They will have one team who should take care of both. Some large companies, yeah, they will have separate teams. They may have separate teams, but it should be it is recommended to learn both of them. If you have both skills, then there are good chances that your profile is shortlisted and you can clear the interview easily. That's what I would recommend. Okay, now certifications. Okay, there are many certifications in Azure. um, okay, now starting with Azure fundamentals. Basically there are fundamental certifications as well. Within fundamentals there are multiple: Azure fundamentals, data fundamentals, AI fundamentals, and few others. Okay, attempting that is optional. You don't have to write that, but just to validate your skills, you can give a try, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so apart, if you leave the fundamental certification aside, then the next thing that you can do is Azure Administrator certification. So Azure Administrator certification is for validating Azure skills. Okay, so that's number one. Now the next one is DevOps, Azure DevOps Engineer. So in order to attempt Azure DevOps Engineer, you have to clear this Azure Administrator exam. So there is a prerequisite to become DevOps Engineer. So first you have to clear Azure Administrator, then only you can do DevOps. That's one path. The other path is if you are a developer, .NET developer or Java developer, then you don't have to do administrator certification. You can do that, but there is an option for doing Azure developer certification as well. Okay, so once you clear developer certification, then you will become eligible for giving Azure DevOps engineer certification as well. So basically DevOps has two prerequisites, either administrator certification or developer certification. Okay, so this is one path. Then the other path is once you clear Azure administrator thing, you can also give Azure architect certification. Okay, so these are common, very common certifications that people write uh, when they start careers in Azure. And there are many other certifications. We will not go into all that, like data engineer, AI engineer, data scientist, right? Data analyst. There are many other certifications. We will not go into all that. But common things are Azure administrator and Azure DevOps engineers. Okay, this is what many people focus. At least 70% of the people who are looking towards Azure career from other areas, from other technologies. If they are switching their careers to Azure, then these are the ones that people go for. Any questions so far? So today I'm not going to explain anything new. Uh, this session is only towards career counseling. So you have to ask me as many questions
Praveen,
as you have.
Srikanth here, Praveen.
Mhm.
Praveen, you are saying regarding the biceps, Terraform, these are all part of the Azure DevOps.
Um, Not Azure DevOps. Okay. It's IAC. Okay. It's for infra automation. Okay. So
This
now what is
infra
Azure
automation is
DevOps?
also part of Azure DevOps. It's completely different.
That's what I'm saying. So first of all, let's understand what is Azure DevOps. Okay. So so let me close this. Okay. So what is this? Portal.azure.com. What is this? Microsoft Azure. This is a cloud platform, correct? So now what is Azure DevOps? Many people have this confusion, okay? Because it has um, two words, right? One is Azure, the other one is DevOps. So what is this? You see, Azure DevOps. So this is a web-based tool, a product of Microsoft, using which you can achieve DevOps. Okay, within you can achieve DevOps within Azure or outside Azure as well. Even for AWS also, you can implement DevOps from here. That's also possible. Generally, people don't do that, but technically it is possible. Okay, so basically Azure DevOps is a web-based tool for implementing DevOps. So now what is dev, what is ops? DevOps, there are two words in DevOps, right? Dev and ops. uh, so basically dev means developers, ops means operations guys, operations teams. So now DevOps means or the role of a DevOps engineer is to bridge gap between developer and operation guys. Basically that means using DevOps you can do automated deployments. Okay, now here um, in this tool you will not develop IAC here. Okay, IAC will be written in local machines, and when you run the IAC, it will create Azure resources here. Okay. Now, what you can do from DevOps to IAC is, from DevOps, you can automate the execution of IAC. For example, from DevOps, you can do two things. One, DevOps supports Git. You can see this, right? Azure DevOps repos. This is Git. In fact, tomorrow I will have a session, a community session at evening IST 5 o'clock, where I talk about Git best practices. Okay, I will share. I think I already shared the link in the groups. Maybe I will share it again. We'll talk more about repos there. It's a free community call. Yeah. So now here in DevOps, Azure DevOps tool, it supports Git repos and pipelines. Now, if you see this, for Bicep, we will use Git repos to store our code. These are all Bicep. These are all Bicep code. So now DevOps helps us in having the Bicep code here. That's number one. Second one is, using these pipelines, we will deploy Bicep code to higher environments. Okay. So what we can say is, with the help of DevOps, we can execute Bicep code for deployments to higher environments. Okay. So there is a slight, overlap on your question, right? So some people say even IAC is also part of DevOps. Yeah, but they are actually different thing, but linked, both are related. Okay, now the next question that we may ask is, who is going to write this Bicep code? Is it a DevOps engineer or someone else? In some companies, yes, DevOps engineers write, especially small companies. But in large companies, people will have separate teams. They call them as infra engineers or platform engineers. Platform means your infrastructure. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? I think Srikanth is left, I guess. Okay. Others
No,
did.
Praveen, I'm there, Praveen. It's
Yeah,
clear, Praveen.
it's correct. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So here the main areas is pipelines. In Azure DevOps, we'll have to focus a lot on pipelines. This is a place where we will be writing code day in, day out. As you can see here in my last course, which happened in the month of April. So I have created all these pipelines from that scratch. So in real world, you'll be creating pipelines like this for multiple technologies. So here we look at least four, five technologies. But when you work in a team, maybe in team one, you may have 4, 5 same technologies. When you move to second team, maybe there might be other new different 5 technologies. So all you will be doing is creating these pipelines as part of Azure DevOps. So if you want to target for a infra engineer or cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, then you have to learn both Bicep and Azure DevOps pipelines. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think any other questions, guys? I am here only to answer your questions. And yeah, certifications, right? Yeah, I was just talking about few certifications. Now, the validity of okay, first of all, how do you give certifications, right? Basically, you have to first time when you want to give exam, let's say Azure administrator. Every exam will have a code. Azure, sorry, easy. 104 is the exam code for administrator. So these are all sponsored ones. So now this is the first one. This is from Microsoft. So here you see renewal every 1 year. I mean, it gets expired every 1 year. So you have to renew your exam once every 12 months. Now, how do you, yeah, there are practice exams. Okay, Microsoft, um, yeah, I'll show you practice exam. So this, when you click on this, Microsoft practice questions comes up where you can practice. That's number one. And it is just multiple choice. Maybe I'll show this. So you'll have 50 questions with multiple choice ones. Okay, it's very simple. You can try Azure fundamentals. I know we did not cover all the topics, but still you can go ahead and try AZ 900. Maybe I'll show you. Yeah, can you try to read this and answer? At least let's try at least 4 or 5. Private cloud deployment model. It's not public cloud. Microsoft Azure is a public cloud. So this is question is about private cloud. Any cloud.
Hardware
Okay.
hardware must be purchased.
Yeah. So in any cloud, we don't have to worry about hardware. We learned that, right? When you That's why you go to cloud. If you remember in IS, what did we learn? Hardware, networking, physical data center, everything is managed by Microsoft. We don't have to worry about hardware. So this must not be checked. We don't have to worry about this. That's number one. The company has complete control of physical resources and security. We will not have full things. Okay. So applications can be provisioned quickly. Organizations pay only for what they use. These are the two ones which are in any cloud, whether it is private cloud or public cloud. Let's check the answer. Okay, the other way. Okay, these questions are a little confusing. So
Private
this,
cloud.
yeah, this one I think the question is about how do you, I mean, if you are a private cloud company, then what are the characters? So it's other way around. So many questions are little confusing because it is just one single line. So the other way around is what they're asking. Okay. In private cloud, basically they ask is if you want to set up a private cloud, what are the characteristics that you should take care? I think Rakesh, your understanding is correct. So many times, okay, at least 5 questions out of 50, 5 questions will be, you know, it depends on perception. So here you see, I gave both answers incorrect. So I was thinking as a customer of a private cloud, but the question was not as a customer, but as the owner of private cloud. Okay, so click next. What are the very basic services provided by all cloud providers? Obviously, storage, compute. These two, obviously, they will provide. Application development, they don't provide. It's something that we have to develop. Now, you see co-location, we don't understand what does it mean. So again, there is a confusion, right? So co-location means what? Same location, right? So definitely, this kind of confusions will be there. for which you will not have clarity for sure. So you have to make guesswork. And the good thing is each correct answer presents a complete solution. So let's say if the question has only two answers, then you will get complete marks. We don't know how many marks they will assign, whether this is a 1 mark question or 2 mark question, because they are asking us to choose. Okay, what are the two basic services? Yeah, they asked two, right? So definitely these two are the answers. Sometimes they will not say what are the two, what are all uh, basic out of these. So in such case, this kind of things may not make sense. So we'll have to make a guess and answer it. And now I will not answer. You guys can try with whatever knowledge you have.
High
Common,
availability,
okay, common advantages. Only two characters.
geo distribution,
Okay, because these radio buttons, there is only one answer.
you
So
have
what is
full
that?
access in case of internet outage.
Nobody. How can you internet if internet is down? No. See, okay.
You can
This is
Scale mode. Quick.
yeah. You can
Scale
scale
You can
quickly.
scale more.
That is the cloud. Very basic advantage is scaling. Scaling means increase or decrease very easily, very quickly.
sizes can be increased or decreased very quickly.
Yes, yes. Which cloud deployment model are you using if you have servers physically located at your organization and you have migrate a few of the servers to the cloud? Some of them are with you, some of them are with cloud.
hybrid.
Hy-
These are also radio button. So one answer: increasing compute capacity for an app by adding CPU or RAM to a virtual machine. So increasing whenever you see increasing or decreasing, that means scaling.
Scaling.
Okay, so that means these two are out. So we have two options. One of these is correct answer.
Vertical scaling.
Vertical scaling. Yeah, we did not discuss about this, but still it's simple to understand, right? So maybe in actual sessions we will learn what is vertical scaling, what is horizontal scaling. Basically, these are called as scale up, scale down, scale out, scale in. Yeah, deploying and configuring cloud-based resources quickly as business requirement change is called. That's what I think. So quickly adapting to changes, requirement changes is called as agility. Being agile is that means responding quickly, delivering quickly. Maybe let's do two more or three, 10 questions to answer. Increasing compute capacity by adding instances. Again, increasing means scaling.
Horizontal
These two are
scaling.
horizontal scaling. Basically, I think we discussed, right? Some of you asked me about sessions. I was talking about load balancing. Basically, horizontal scaling means load balancing, where you have multiple servers. Yeah, like someone asked about sessions, right? I talked about Redis cache. So that's called as horizontal scaling. Cloud computing allows you to deploy applications to regional data centers around the world. So here, this is fill in the blanks. This is fill in the blank here. So what will come here? Dash allows you to
G,
deploy applications in regional data centers around the world.
geolocation, disease,
All are very same, very close. Okay,
disaster recovery also.
wait. Deploy applications to regional data centers around the world.
I thought I
Geo,
have a
yeah, availability I think is the one. All look very similar. Okay, so high availability I think is answer. See, these kind of things definitely they are very close, right?
Geolocation
So
only, right?
uh,
Geolocation only is what we are saying.
high
Deploying in the
availability.
sense like wherever.
Yeah,
Around
see
its
both look. That's what I'm saying. Both are very close. Geolocation means multiple location. High availability will be achieved when you deploy your applications in multiple location. This is also same. Disaster recovery
Yes.
means you have to have secondary copy in some other location. That's also kind of uh, that's also where you deploy applications to multiple data centers. So all of them talk about deploying your code or workloads into multiple locations. Okay, let's see. Okay, geolocation is the right answer. So you see, this is confusion. Geo distribution is different term, geolocation is different term. So I have never seen geolocation term, geo distribution. You see, this guy they only say this is referred as geo distribution, but I'm not sure why they use geolocation. So I've seen this, in all exams, at least 5 questions. The terminology or the English, it differs based on perception. Okay, the guy who wrote this question, they he or she himself, right, herself, they're referring to two different words. Obviously, how will we understand the terms, right? So definitely we have to bear with that. Okay, I have to switch my screen share for a moment, guys. Let me share my screen again. Okay, let's look at last question. I think at least two we did incorrectly, right? Because of that. Okay, let's do this last one. Two deployments, that means two answers. In two deployments, our customers responsible for managing OS. So where do we manage OS? This we should
It's
On
answer.
premise,
on
ISS,
premises.
Sorry,
On
sorry,
premise,
sorry.
I asked.
Yeah, on premises. You should never say on premise. S must be added for sure. Okay. Either say on premises or on prem. That's it. Don't say on premise. That's not correct. Okay. Yeah. In these two ways,
infra.
we manage OS. Customers manage OS. Yeah, this is the perfect answer. Okay. Yeah, I will let you practice the rest of the other ones. Okay. Okay. Now, um, this is a practice exam. Okay. First, you should practice this kind of questions. Number one. The next thing is obviously you'll have to give real exam. Correct. So I'll close this. Um, yeah, I'll open this one more time. So then take the exam. First practice exam. Obviously prepare exam means you will learn all the topics. Then where do you see the topics first of all? Let's see. So you can go through Azure documentation. That's number one. Second thing is content. I'm looking for where do you see all the topic content? Okay. So certification resources. Let's see. Okay, study guide. Okay, you should look at study guides. So here you see study guides for all the certifications. There are many certifications in Azure. So come down, change log. Yeah, depending on the date, obviously you did not give exam till now. So this is the link that you should check. Review the skills measured prior to January. Okay, not this one. Yeah, this one. Review the skills measured as of Jan 24. Okay, this is the one. So this document tells us about all the topics. Cloud concepts 25 to 30%, architectural components 35 to 40%, networking, storage, blah blah blah. Right? So all this is the list of all skills that you have to possess for giving the exam. Okay. So once you learn all this, then what you should do is you should schedule the exam through PSN view or Certifort. So I always use so far have I think I have not, this looks like a new one so far. Oh, this is only for student or an educators, not for us. Um, so if you choose this, it will ask you a student email address. Basically, this is more for university people who have a valid student or teacher or professor email address. So we cannot use this, we have to use this. So when you click on this, what happens is it will you can either opt for exam from home, or you can visit Pearson View Center. Okay. Right from COVID, this work exam from home has become very popular. So last 3-4 years, whatever certifications I gave, they are from home only. So they will have a Pearson View software. You should first install that even before giving exam. When you install it, it will validate your camera, your network, and your internet speed, because all these are important so that you don't have problems with exam while giving exam. So it will validate. You have to download a software. It will validate your computer hardware, camera, speakers, network, and uh, what else? Internet speed. So now, whatever system you, whatever laptop you tested, same laptop must be used during the exam as well. Okay. Now, in order to give exam, you need to schedule. It will ask you to pay money. You have to pay that, and and then once you schedule the exam, it will give you. Um, it will send us an email with all other instructions. Okay, and during the exam time is 3 hours. Basically, you have to be in a room where nobody is there. Nobody should be available in that room, and it should be clean. Your desk must be uh, clean. You should not have anything. You can have a notepad along with pen to make some notes, but you should not have anything, your mobiles, nothing. They will ask you first, you should upload some pictures, your left hand side, right hand side, front side, back side. Okay, you can also install Pearson Views mobile app, um, and you will have to show them your ID proof. So a government valid ID proof. Um, they will take picture. Okay, so it's better you install the Pearson Views mobile app to scan that from computer. Um, it's very hard to capture that for them. So be ready by installing this Pearson View app from mobile. From mobile, you can easily scan it. So ID proof is something that you should keep handy on that exam day. So only ID proof, your laptop. That's it. You should not have anything. Notebook, notepad. I think it is allowed, but you should not have anything which is close to you. So once the exam gets started, there will be a person who will be watching you throughout the exam. You cannot see them, but you can chat with them. They can also chat with them. They can talk. Okay, So they will be watching you. They will ask you to show all the desk down below the desk as well. So they will watch, and if they are happy, then they will release the exam. Then only you can write the exam. Okay. And while writing the exam, you should not even open your lips. Okay. So some people, right, when you are reading the question, you will at least open your lips as if you're talking, right? So that is not allowed. If you are opening your lips while reading, then they will warn you once or twice. If you keep repeating that mistake, they will feel that somebody is in the room and you are um, you know giving them questions, and they will be so they will they may throw you out if you repeat it. So exam time is 3 hours, but it doesn't you don't need 3 hours. You can complete that in maybe half time, or maybe 2 hours also. You can complete that because it's hardly 45 to 50 questions, 40 to 50 in the middle. Okay. So once you complete the exam, I think you will see the result there immediately, but you will not get the certificate until maybe 24 hours. You will receive an email um, about your certification. Once you give a certification, you can share it with your LinkedIn, your organization. And once this is the first time experience, okay, for every exam there are many exams, right? If you want to target individual ones, for everything first time, this is the process. Now once you achieve a certification, it is valid only for 1 year. Earlier it was 2 years validation, but now while and after COVID, they changed it to 1 year. And renewal process is very simple. They made very simple. Okay, before going to renewal process, let me come back to the exam. Now while giving exam, there are, I said, around 50 questions, right? 45 to 50 questions. It can change. So now it has multiple choice question, like how we have seen fundamentals, right? Question and answers. We have to choose one or two answers. That's number one. Second thing is they will give you a scenario, not scenario, but case study. There was so and so company. You are Azure architect or administrator. These are their requirements. You have to provide an architecture with very minimum cost. So they will give you all the requirements followed by 5 questions or 10 questions, mostly 5 questions. So within that case study, they will ask you, this is the scenario, what will you do? This is the scenario, what will you do? So some case studies, many of them are multiple choice questions, 70% or 60%, rest of the 30-40% case studies. So these are two types of questions they would ask. And sometimes I think some code will also be there, small portions. They will write a code and they will skip one of the lines. They will ask you what line of code would fit here. When I say code, it could be PowerShell, Azure CLI, or now even they introduced Bicep as well in the exam. Okay. Yeah, this is more for administrator, I am saying. Okay. So this is the and most important one is it is open exam. All Microsoft Azure certifications are open exams. That means you can search, not in Google, but in Microsoft Learn. As you can see right now, we are in Microsoft Learn, learn.microsoft.com. So you can open this Microsoft documentation and you can search. For example, maybe the question is on Bicep, Azure Bicep. Something. So this is Microsoft documentation. You can browse this website and find the answer. For example, this is all about Bicep. All this is Bicep. So if there's a question on Bicep, you can come here, you can search here. For example, Bicep has a concept called modules. Now come here, go through this. You can read and give the answer. That's allowed now. This is a recent change, maybe 3 months or 6 months. I don't remember, but it's open book. You can search in this documentation and you can answer. Okay, that's the first time exams. Okay, but second time exam, it's very, very simple. You don't have to pay any money. First time only you have to pay that $95 or $19. This will change based on the location. Um, if it is from India, I think 6,000 rupees. This is 8,000, right? But if you are giving from India, I think it is 5,600 or something. Not even 5,000, I think 3,500 plus GST. Okay, GST is at 18%, so around 800. So 4,500 is what you have to pay for giving exam for the first time only. So renewals, you don't need to schedule exam. You don't have to um, take the exam like how you do it for the first time, right? It's very simple. The renewals are very similar to practice exam. Okay, it will have only 25 questions, not even 50. Okay, so it is like multiple choice only, very similar to the practice that what we have seen, right? We have under 10 questions. It's very similar. You have enough time, 40-50 minutes, but 25 questions only. You can search in the internet and then you can give answers. So renewals are very simple. um, you can but what a recent change that I learned is you can give only for 5 times. Renewal exam can be given only for 5 times. If you fail, then you have to again start from scratch. That means you have to again schedule exam. Right? That guy, protractor guy, will come. All those things you have to repeat. Okay, that's about exams.
Praveen, first time, if I fail in first time, how many times we can write that examination?
No,
Okay.
first time it's again you have to schedule exam. So if you are not confident, what you can do is you can opt this exam replay.
How many times we can schedule the exam?
I
Is there
think you
any
can do.
yearly?
No. First time you are paying money, right? You can give as many times as you want. I don't think there is any limit for that. So, but what you can do is you can, yeah. So instead of every time, right, this is the first time exam. Even I failed. I think 1 or 2 exams I failed for the first time. I have to schedule again. I have to pay this money again one more time. So if you are not confident, then what you can do is instead of paying 4,000 every time, we can do exam replay. So they will take additional, I think maybe if it is 4,000, maybe they will take 5,000 or 6,000 and they will allow you to write one more time. That is exam replay. Okay. If you don't pass on the first try, so then polish your skills and retake the exam if needed. One retake of the same exam. Okay. At least I don't know how many times you can write if you fail. I mean, how many failed attempts are allowed. I don't think there is any limit. Okay, MindHub is the official partner where you can take that voucher. Plus, I think they also are pretty good for practice exams. Okay, all right. That's about certifications. Yeah, any questions, guys? I think otherwise, I think we are late now. Um, Otherwise, I'm done for today, unless you have any additional questions.
Praveen, is there any chance to start a Azure admin or a DevOps batch?
Yeah, very soon. Next week we will be starting. I'll post in
Which one?
the.
Azure admin.
Okay, so my courses are not certification oriented. They are designed more for, at least as of now. It's a combination of both. Okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So Azure admin plus DevOps. So in our course, what we do is we will learn around 15 Azure services, 12 to 15 Azure services, where
Okay.
we create all of them using Bicep. Right from day one, we'll learn Bicep. We'll create Azure resources using Bicep. I will show you how to create them in the portal. but at the same time, we'll write bicep code from the scratch to create those Azure services. Initial 3 weeks approximately, we will be working with bicep. That's first one. Second one is Azure DevOps. Okay, we will learn how to create um, DevOps pipelines for at least 5 technologies. We'll start from Hello World CI/CD pipelines, and then we will write code for at least 4 or 5 technologies using YAML, multi-stage YAML pipelines, all the way up to production. How real in real world, how people do a deployment, how do they initiate, how do they wait for approvals for higher environments, for lower environments, automated deployments, but for higher environments, people how do people deploy, I mean, approve and deploy all those users.
Like we will cover everything like Kubernetes and Docker also.
Docker Kubernetes are separate course, but we will just look at introduction about Docker and how to create a guest cluster if we have time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Praveen, is there any Azure developer courses we love furtherly?
Okay. Azure development, right? You are developer .NET or Java.
I am not developer, but most of the in PaaS services and regarding to PaaS services, I thought to we can take Azure developer
No,
course.
those are part of the course that I was talking about. Azure developer means it's for .NET developers or Java developers who write code in Java or .NET. But
Okay.
definitely, we'll be focusing mostly only on PaaS. So we'll be
Yeah.
creating websites, storage accounts, key vaults, databases. So focus will be more on PaaS services and serverless services. We will not focus much on IaaS because IaaS is, you'll hardly have any jobs in that. Even if you try to get a job in that, people will ask you to work in shifts. So all that problem will be there.
Uh,
So we'll be focusing more on PaaS only. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. If I start AZ104, it's been long time. If I start AZ104, there will be focusing much on IaaS, much on networking, load balancing, on IaaS. So those things will be covered. Focused more in AZ104, which is Azure Administrative course. But this course that I'm about to start is real world. The most common important ones that are required for any job and interviews. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. That's it for today. Thanks for your time. And I will share a Git best practices webinar link, which happens tomorrow 5 p.m. Indian time. I'll share that in the group. You have to get registered in meetup.com. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Good luck.
Thanks, bro.
The
Thank
last
you, Praveen.
session. Good luck for your career. Bye bye.